Here we go. We have an update from the Mat-Su Fish and Wildlife Commission, and it is Gabe Kidder. Thank you, Gabe.
Thank you. Like she said, my name is Gabe Kidder. I'm a member of the Mat-Su Borough Fish and Wildlife Commission, and I'm here to just kind of update everyone on what we've been doing and what we plan to do in the future. Right off the bat, it takes fish to make fish. There's some booklets, I believe, floating around that the borough produced, and with the help of the commission, if anybody's interested. A lot of good information in there. The Mat-Su Fish and Wildlife Commission is made up of a 9-member volunteer board. They are mayor appointed and assembly approved. They include 2 Mat-Su Borough Assembly members as well. The commission members themselves collectively have 100 years of combined experience as state biologists, fishing and hunting guides, Kendra Zamzow being a scientist. Very science-based body of people. Community engagement is a big aspect to the commission. The meetings are always open to the public, and we welcome anyone that wants to come and participate, as well as just learn about the things that are up and coming in the Mat-Su Borough when it comes to fish and habitat. Other things to mention, the Fish and Wildlife Commission also allows organizations prior to the agendas being published, if they'd like to provide an update on specific projects or work that they're working on in the Mat-Su Borough, they can do so as well, and we welcome that. Engaging local citizens. The Mat-Su Borough Fish and Wildlife Commission meetings are a great place for members of the public, organizations, tribal, federal agencies, state agencies, whatever the case, to come and have a platform to bring up their issues that they might see as important to the Mat-Su Borough and the fish and habitat that are in our area. Some work that the commission has done in the past, we've directed over $20 million in borough, state, and federal appropriations towards improving fisheries research, management, and fish passage. Fish passage culverts have been a big part of that over the last few years, with converting culverts that were not adequate for fish passage and making them so. Our collaboration with residents allow us to tap into local knowledge while encouraging individuals to take an active role. Work with the members of the public to spread the word and reinforce the public process when working with the public. Members as individuals speaking with other members of the public to bring subject matter forward to the commission is another avenue for us to take things up. Like it's been talked about a lot here, the Water Body Setback Advisory Board was, the Fish and Wildlife Commission was a key role player in advocating for the borough taking a step back and taking a good look at the water body setback regulations and the ordinance itself. Kendra Zamzow being on the commission has been kind of the conduit for the Fish and Wildlife Commission to the water body setback, and has been a key player in that. Recommendations provide new improved pollution mitigation measures. So again, the Fish and Wildlife Commission has had Kendra, as well as the body of the commission itself, commenting on certain portions throughout that creation or revitalization, I guess, of the water body setback. And then just a kind of a plug, the public comment. Again, you guys have heard it before, but November 13th it was released, and January 13th is the deadline. Like Matt said, don't wait till the 12th. The fish and wildlife and habitat advocacy. So there's a lot going on in the Mat-Su Borough. As you guys know, the Susitna watershed is massive, and there's a lot going on. The Fish and Wildlife Commission is always trying to keep a pulse on everything. It's a lot as a volunteer board to keep up with, but we do what we can. And in some of those projects that we've drafted comments on and made recommendations for are the Eklutna Hydro Project. That was one that we worked with Eklutna a little bit and produced comments on what we thought the plan should be moving forward, with revitalizing that conductivity between the river and the lake. Susitna gas lease, obviously a massive portion of the Susitna watershed, we have provided public comment on as well. Water reservations through DNR, again, provided public comment for. And then the ongoing West Susitna Access Project, we're really starting to dive into and take a closer look at, which is good. Local development projects. Again, the Matsu Borough is massive, and there's a lot going on. So just when we think we got it all under control and understood, there's another project comes up or another issue comes up. So and I'll just read this because it is important. The Matsu Fish and Wildlife Commission believes it is essential and more economical to protect and conserve salmon habitat and populations instead of retroactively having to restore them. And I think we all know that, and it's been proven in the lower 48, and we just don't want to end up in the same shoes. The Board of Fisheries process. The commission is very heavily involved in the Board of Fish process. The commission members personally have a history of serving on the board, so the understanding of the process and how that works is very well understood and disseminated down to the other commission members like myself that maybe don't have so much experience with it. And we also allow the public to participate in recommendations or things that they see as being beneficial or maybe not to the Matsu Borough and the fish. Let's see, I'll go to the next one. So the conservation corridor was an aspect it's been in the works for years and implemented more recently in the last decade or so. And it just helps to create a conduit through Cook Inlet to provide the Northern District, the Susitna, the Knik drainage with salmon. And it is something that the Fish and Wildlife Commission has advocated for to put in place and will advocate continuously to reinforce and stay in place where it is. And I guess just for those of you that don't know, the conservation corridor is a path of water through the center of Cook Inlet that essentially has been proven to be a thoroughfare for northern bound salmon. And managing that section of water, knowing that, has made for more fish in the Northern District. 2024 Board of Fish efforts. So in February, the commission met as a whole at the Board of Fish in Anchorage, and there were commission members that were there every day. I think it's a week-long, roughly week-long, 10-day event, speaking on behalf of the Matsu Borough residents and the fish that support us. October, we sent an agenda change request to the Board of Fish to have Susitna king salmon listed as a stock of concern, as well as supported our local legislature's agenda change request to have little Susitna coho salmon listed as a stock of concern, and we'll continue to work through that effort. Securing funding. So the Fish and Wildlife Commission works closely with local legislators to bring awareness to important fisheries-related funding needs, wherever that is. Two of us, myself included, went down to Juneau last year and spoke to 28 different legislators in 2 days, just advocating for funding that would be allocated to the department to benefit the fisheries in the Matsu Borough. And we will continue to do that every legislative cycle. I would imagine if it carries the weight for us to go down there and advocate for something, we'll probably do so. State legislative priorities. We support collection between the state and the federal fishery management to reduce bycatch, maintain increase funding and support to fish weirs in the Matanuska-Susitna Borough, coho genetic sampling. These are all things that we've advocated for with the legislators. And I'm getting kind of a warning sign, so I'm going to start skipping through them. Some future actions. We'll continue to work with the members of the public, local organizations, and agencies to keep a pulse on salmon and the habitat they depend on in the Matsu Borough. Areas we focus, I have way too much written here to fit it in. So stock of concern, those two listings. Pike suppression is another large one. Funding and research and personnel for the department. Funding or better forecasting methods, addressing federal management concerns. Some of the takeaways here, not one reason for salmon declines. You know, it's a death by 1,000 cuts. And I think the issue is this is a massive pile and we all have a shovel. And so sometimes you feel like you're the only one shoveling, but seeing all of you together and knowing that all of you care about the issue is comforting, and knowing that all it takes is grabbing a shovel and doing that. And we can move this pile of dirt, even if more is added, it seems like, on a daily basis. Safeguarding our fisheries for future generations. It's the grandpa's fishing pole and the grandson or granddaughter's fishing pole that Pete talked about. These are things that we want to continue seeing, and we'll engage and advocate for that. We advocate for access to science and data, information, supporting one another, and navigating challenges we face and working forward. So with that, I'll kind of close with a thank you and invite anyone, whether it's individual, from an organization, to attend our meetings. They're monthly. You can find them on the Matsu Borough website. And also with that, if you find yourself overly interested, there are two of our longest standing members of the commission, both pushing plus 20 years or close to 20 years on the commission, that are going to go ahead and take time to relax and enjoy it. So there will be, somewhere around the first of the year, there will be 2 positions open on the Matsu Borough Fish and Wildlife Commission. And if you're interested, you can find myself or these 2 guys in the front, or contact the Matsu Borough Clerk's office to look into how to become a part of the Fish and Wildlife Commission. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Gabe. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'll just make a statement. The borough mayor had asked me to reach out for folks interested in those positions on the Matsu Borough Fish and Wildlife Commission. I would let you know we've already had some applicants, and I specifically mentioned this for them. She wanted me to put the plug in there, but the timeline could be pretty quick. So if you're really interested, you want to get a application and fill it out and get it submitted as soon as possible for one of those positions. And as Gabe mentioned, the 2 people that are getting off the commission are Larry Engel and Howard Delo. And I certainly appreciate them. If you know them, Howard here, Larry's not. Larry was sick. I don't know if he's still sick or not, but if you see them, please give them a thank you, because they've both been involved for a long time.
I think with that too, Andy, thank you. Larry and Howard, if everyone wouldn't mind giving them a round of applause just for everything they've done.
Any other questions for Gabe? Okay, go for it.
Not really a question, but I'd just like to reaffirm, my name is Israel Payton, I'm current director of Sport Fish and previous Board of Fish member. The work that the Matsu Fish and Wildlife Commission has done over the past 2 or 3 board cycles has really been a game changer on protecting fish and habitat, getting more fish to the squatting grounds and the Matsu. I can't really stress the good work they've done in the past and continue to do, especially at the Board of Fish. So it's appreciated by stakeholders in the valley here, even though they might not come to the meetings, and you guys might feel like lone rangers here, but a lot of good work. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gabe. We're now moving on to a